I feel like as much as they say our tradition and we growing and everything is evolved, that's one of the things, the tenets that I hold sacred to crop over, is that the music has to be the music of the festival.
Welcome to Just a Conversation, the podcast where we discuss the topics that matter to you. I'm Aisha Reed here with Shayla Morrow. Today we're talking about something close to the heart of every Bajan, or should be at least, crop over. Is it still the cultural celebration it was meant to be, or has it become just another summer festival? We're joined by Patrick Salt Bellamy, Dane Marshall, and Ashanti Trotman to explore the evolution of the festival, the clash of culture and commerce, and whether there's still room for both tradition and transformation. Shayla.
Yes.
You know how passionate I am about this thing because I believe crop over is a blessing, it's not a curse.
Yes.
It's the best thing in the world.
Yes.
You know this is my thing. I believe in evolution, but at the same time I don't believe in losing ourselves. And for the last couple of years, I don't want to say a couple, maybe like 10 years or so, I'm thinking that we are losing a bit of ourselves. And we are seeing other festivals that are in July and in June and then right behind us in August that are still staying true to their themselves and stuff like that. And I think that for me personally, from the time that we went down the road of the Swedish Summer Festival, is where it started to get a little murky in the waters. What about you?
Well, crop over is also very dear to my heart. It's in my DNA. I have memories. My mother has been taking me to Calypso tent since I was in primary school. I probably heard things in tent that little ears should not be hearing, but it has really been my heartbeat for as long as I can remember. And I even have memories of watching the Kaduma bands pass as a little girl from Queen Mary Road in Bank Hall, where my grandmother lived. Fantastic memories of people just enjoying themselves without thinking of who's looking at them. People walking home, people guard walls. It was just an amazing spectacle to see as a little girl, you know. So, and I've seen a lot of changes over the years too, but I do understand that things have to evolve. And crop over will mean something different to everybody. You have to give the next generation space to see it the way that they see it too.
That's true.
So that's what we're here to talk about today.
You know, I said it's close to every Bajan's heart, but I actually grew up in a house where my mother can't stand crop over. So it's like, wow, you know? So it's close to most of our hearts.
Yes.
So guys, we can let y'all jump in. We can start with Patrick.
Just ask me a question.
What do you think? What do you think about it? Is it evolving to the betterment? What do you think? Is it still sticking to its tradition?
There you go. It definitely is evolving, and as Shayla mentioned earlier, evolution is a part of life. Everybody's not going to like the direction of the evolution, but that's how life goes. All we could do is try to not make the mistakes that we've made in the past, right? And my thing as we look to the future, and let's look at the past as well, make sure that we not doing over the same things that led us the wrong way before. So as long as we evolving in a positive direction or in a different direction, I don't have a problem with it necessarily.
I know Ashanti as an artist, as a former cultural officer. Well, you are a cultural stalwart anyway, forever. Can you paint a picture for us, especially those of us who are much younger, of what crop over was like before we know it today? I know you've had experience with so many aspects of it.
Well, thanks. Although I think that you very well spoke about the evolution of crop over, most certainly within the last 10 years as you've experienced it. Myself, probably I've done about 24 years in crop over. Initially, I should say 1 year as a band leader and 21 years as an administrator. coordinated things like Grand Kaduma, Junior Kaduma, and several other events for those years. I walked away from it in 2007 and came back in 2010 and did an additional year.
Sorry, go ahead. I'll let you talk. I'll let you speak.
I have been away from it because for those 20-something years, it totally consumed my life. And I was glad to have the opportunity to, and most certainly my family, my wife and my 2 kids, although they were part of it, I always dragged them along. They were glad to have some more of me, and I was glad to be able to spend some more time with them. I said that you touched on it because crop over has evolved over the years, and it will continue to do so because crop over is about people, and people change. People grow up, they get older, they want something different. And therefore, I have seen over the years, many changes have come about. Sometimes it's change in a kind of circle or cycle. Other times is that we've tried things and dropped them all together and tried something new. And I think that basically is life. And if you want to begin to talk about the whole concept of crop over and where it started and where it is today, I think that we need to go back to the origin of crop over. If you want to talk about the roots of crop over.
Yes.
And where it is today and whether we have lost our roots or we've gone in a different direction or we continue to go in a different direction, and whether that direction is good or whether it is bad. And I think all of those ideas and opinions will contend in terms of where we started and where we are. And it can get pretty deep because the history of crop over is something that is very deep within us. You all talk about it, about the merriment that it brings, how you stop and see people on the streets with gear abandoned, just releasing themselves. That is part of it. But it has an origin as well that perhaps we need to look back to and question that origin so that we can begin to have a true understanding and a value of what it should mean to us or what it has meant to us.
What is the origin? Because some of us don't know.
The origin of crop over in the 1600s was an opportunity for slaves to get some reprieve from the back-breaking work that the slaves did all throughout the crop season and even before the crop season. And the slaves who were brought to Barbados to cut sugarcane, the lives revolved around the sugarcane plantation, and that was that was all that they knew actually. And it wasn't as though like today that they're being paid for what they were doing. That was not the thing at all. But those who would have brought us here, whether it was the Dutch or the Portuguese, and I don't want to limit it to Barbados because when we talk about crop over, it's a festival, and there are other islands who subscribe to the notion of a festival and who have a similar history to us as well. And those persons who brought us here, I guess, felt moved that at some point in time they had to give us an opportunity to breathe and to celebrate and to enjoy life in a different way. And hence, they allowed the Africans to, I call them Africans, we are Africans. I could say Bajan, I could say Grenadian, whatever. They allowed us slaves, and we were not slaves before we were brought here and called slaves. We were carpenters, masons, You know, we were human beings. But the reality is that this celebration that they themselves, because they had their own festivals and that kind of stuff, we had our festivals as well too. We celebrated when harvest time. So in Barbados, we had the home harvest where the slaves were allowed to play some drums, and drums it was illegal actually during that period. But play some drums, and that was the festivity in that early times. Come forward to more recent times, and much has had passed. I think it was attributed to Mary Shaw, who came up with the idea in more current times and moving towards independence. The idea of having a festival for really tourism purposes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And during that period, the slaves then had another part to play in another way. And we move away from that. I think that another period emerged where ultimately took over the festival, and he sought to infuse within the festival aspects of our history, and that history again was associated with the sugarcane and the crop, and therefore we had things like the donkey cart parade and a number of I would say historical groundings that sought to put the festival within a contemporary setting that we now know as Crop Over Festival.
Okay, so Dane, event planner, former member of Brewster's Road and Awaken promoter, etc. No financial advisor. Tell me your thoughts on the topic.
For me, I grew up in Crop Over because my dad used to drive trucks for the barns way back when. So like from 9-10 years, he used to take me along. So I enjoyed the routes from the garrison, coming down, different things like that. I experienced all of that. And as I get older, I was really into the Crop Over Festival. As a teenager, you know, again, jump illegally, Mexican barns, different things.
That's all part of culture.
And it was a lot different. And as you all said, it's like things got evolved. Because throughout my years, I have seen how it have evolved. But how do you balance things evolving while integrating different generations, but still keeping what is true to Barbados?
Correct.
And I think that's where we are losing a lot, because to me we are moving away from what Crop Over really is to, because we got different promoters that I think come in the game right now, and a lot of these promoters that come in the game now ain't really into Crop Over. It's more of a business to them than the culture of what Crop Over is supposed to be. So, I mean, I spent most of my life partying, from 21 years becoming a promoter. And, you know, throughout that, I have seen how things have evolved all the time. And you got to adapt. And if you don't adapt, you can get left behind. And I'm not saying that what's going on right now is a good or bad thing, but where do you draw the line?
Right.
And is it that we moving away from Crop Over to be a summer festival or a carnival? And as we compete with Grenada, Jamaica, and Jamaica is on the rise right now.
Correct. Yeah.
And
who would have thought?
and as much as people think Jamaica is moving a lot more towards soca than anything else right now.
Right.
So really and truly, I'm traveling to all these carnivals. I was going to Trinidad Carnival for 24 years. From the time it was 2021, I was going to Trinidad Carnival. And this was from 2001, I was going to Trinidad Carnival. Up to 2024, 2025, which is this year, things have changed but the culture remains the same.
Yeah.
Cause it still got sailor bands, different things. Obviously, a lot of bands came into play, but when you go to Trinidad, the culture of what Trinidad stands for is the same. But is it that Barbados still has that?
Maybe because we depend so much on, again, tourism was one of the reasons why this was started in the beginning. Do you think, guys, that has a major role to play or not quite?
I actually want to hear from Patrick because he's a DJ. He's a man in all areas of crop over. He's a DJ, a radio announcer, an event promoter. He got one of the most still facts that's still authentic right now. Now we insult right. And a social commentator and a soca artist. Yeah. So tell me, give me your perspective on it, on the evolution and what we could do to still try to see if we could balance to maintain the culture. Because things got to evolve, we know that. Things
definitely have to evolve. And, I mean, really and truly, you're going to ask a question that, because it's so deeply connected to the past of slavery, right? Are we observing it or are we celebrating it? Right? We want to go back to just drums and walking on the side of the road. I think what's happened, I put the end at the front here now. Yeah. Everybody's got the core memories. Everybody's got the things from when they were in their prime and then Celta. Everybody got the core memory. The music that they love, that it was hearing like between 16 and 30, that music that you love. You ain't gonna start to learn and love no new music after that. People that love crop over the way it was between when they're 16 and 25. And then there's your age out. That's why you love Ashanti's point, yeah. I didn't want to miss thing. So you say, all right, step away and go and be my family and all that there. Yeah, because at a point in time, you realize that, all right, it is moving on and people are telling, like, when they bring out my music now, you don't be trying to bring out sounds for an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old because you know that that's the artist market and what I bring out music that towards people in my demographic. Right. The same thing with the party with Soca Still might be scared towards the people that because you know that so they got people there that will love Calypso once. I see them put fireworks and things saying, oh, the music is this and the music and that, the music ain't saying it, and got some nice songs that ain't playing that you don't hear them in the party and all this and that. They don't be in the party. To see that when you put on them songs that nobody that actually partying and partying to them songs.
So they're talking about what they don't know.
Yeah.
They're talking about what they don't know. Essentially,
it's the same thing with the people that is be saying the music so bad and they listen to that yet.
And they listen to that yet, right? So the point that I'm making here is that crop over evolve and it really and truly is a young person get what Dane talk about in there just now in terms of they having a tradition. That's because they have is economies of scale. They got the numbers. You understand? And so if we're going to continue to look back at tradition, I think we can holler for them. Blue Box Scout when they can't jump. Call this here for the Africans. yeah. For a start. You know what I mean? But no, it's not that. You know what we develop and more people get to be a part of it.
But what about the situation where people are saying that it's becoming so expensive now that we pricing out average Bajans out to the festival? Because that's a complaint that I hear, So we ain't talking about your party, which, you could get and spend $25 and left home. But most of the parties, no. Well, it's just a good set of the major parties, no. You're looking at 100 or more.
Yeah, right. The average price to party in Barbados is between 120 and 150.
That's for the one-off parties.
This is for the one-off parties. When you look at it, there's a man like to drink. So when they go, they spend money. So when they pay 120 or 150 to get an event, they can buy a bottle for $200. A yacht $350 or $320. So all inclusive is $300 or $320. A cooler party is $100 or $120 or whatever the case may be. So I mean, and all these.
There's a financial advisor plan, but
to me, all the parties, like everybody doing garden parties, everybody coming with this thing, food bites. I will save a job, but I want to say that. But you either doing a food inclusive party or you're not. What's food bites?
It doesn't matter. Every time you let runners got a new way to. It's how the tiers of tickets. All of a sudden, one of that's early bird.
Early bird.
I know it's
General or you pay door. No, you got all kind of tiers and all that. So.
But I don't have a problem with parties evolving, because when Bruce's Road was on the way out, garden parties was on the way in.
Yeah, that's how we're gonna come up with Awaken, basically.
And we got Awaken before that, because when we came up with Awaken, we realized that all-inclusive was a thing that it didn't have much all-inclusive or
Probably
breakfast
have
parties.
bliss.
Especially breakfast parties.
Yeah, they had a breakfast
The
party.
only breakfast party I had was
UV.
with UV. UV and Island Mass.
For the mass, yeah.
Right? And when we came up with the concept of Awaken and different things like that, we wanted to do it different. That's why everybody's remember the first Awaken.
But the thing is that both you and Patrick saying the same thing, basically, because that you guys would have evolved to the breakfast party, and then you keep you fat or whatever, because
The reason
for
we
your
do it fat
age
was
group.
because we do it fat because of the same thing you're talking about. Any industry you see gaps in the market. The reason why I got that I had so many people that they don't got to tell me, but the logistics it killed the small fats.
Right.
It's too hard, too much red tape, too much yellow tape to go through
too much.
to hold an event every week. You got to go on cost cap. You got to go to police for permission. You got bra turning up at your door for $20 fat. You got like a million things that you got to contend with. And then the men know that dealing with the stage, you got to pay them. You got to pay the man doing trust. Got people still. You got to pay your bartenders. You got to pay your security. There's a lot to go through, and everybody's prices are going up. And so it made more sense then to switch to the one big fat, do everything, because you know the police want to see it, see it cross out, you see it, and get clear all of that, get a ticket stand, and deal with it one time as opposed to having to deal with it
I don't know
every
why
week.
people still doing $20 events in this day and age.
Ask Patrick.
I was
He's
doing
still doing one.
I was doing $20 events from 2011, 2012,
Yeah.
coming up in line.
Okay.
And over the years, inflation and things have
right.
got a lot
It's hard-
more
it's hard to do
expensive.
it $20 fat,
but
but
you
it's
still want to do it because you
Because
want
what
the people
happened
to
is,
come.
what happened is, all right, Mali and myself, we are DJs. The same thing you talk about, there's no people that start with the music and saying nothing. You was getting out, you was getting booked, and we like DJs get booked for a lot of the all-inclusive, the breakfast parties, the cooler parties, etc. You getting out, in the last 2 weeks of crop over, which is when the tourists really in the island, so everybody put the festival started to get condensed to 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks. And you go out, you try to play some of the music they're playing on your radio and thing, and everybody's standing and looking at you. Bajans and the tourists. Right? Because the Bajans didn't know the music either. They had nowhere to go and express themselves to the music. And I tell Mali that it ain't making a sense because it can't be fighting up, because then what happened, people came back now, the most vocal people, the DJs play too much Trini, or the DJs play too much old music. I ain't hear this boy, I ain't hear that boy. So we said that we hold a party that we could kind of introduce the new music
and
to
the
the
new
people. So
artists
that's why it'd be so upset. I gotta go through somebody right here. No, I'll be like, I don't want to lay a favor here. Though I try to make sure that the festival, I try to be the roots of the festival so that people could come out and enjoy. Otherwise, we can just start and go and do a one fight any season too. And we're gonna see just that but as a result, though, they can see. And that as we do it, they got a weekly party every night of the week. Now.
Every night.
So that's getting back to the crop over
bringing
union.
back,
I know, yeah.
It bringing back the memories from back when you had Straw Hat on a Tuesday, Wadada on a Wednesday, Berger Boys, Bruce's Road, Power Boy Ford, High
Party.
Campus Boys, Party Central.
Party Central.
these
The other one
different
that used to be
things,
down Pelican Village too.
Yeah.
I just keep forgetting their name all the time, man.
Me don't pan further, Soca and Ram.
Not so I can
You
no,
mean
this
on Saturday?
on Saturday
Passion
mornings,
Network?
Passion Network. That's it.
Passion
Yeah.
Network.
Tell Aisha that.
About the salt point is don't let me lose my train of thought. Is
They're saying we came back to how the festival used to be.
Yeah.
right, I know the right tape and different things because it's a lot of right tape.
So
And to the point where Patrick made about the music and different things like that, is that people are not taking the time to listen to music.
that's what we telling people I say it here every day.
And-
Are y'all going on YouTube and listening to the music?
Not only that, you know,
but
to
when
me-
they're saying it so bad.
To me, I had listened to an interview with Skinny Fabulous last year in Trinidad. And Skinny Fabulous said, this is a three-part thing. Number one, the radio stations got to do the job. Number two, you as an individual, you have to go and see and learn the music, because if you come in a party and you hear a song for the first time and you
You're not
already
gonna
know
dance
it,
to it 'cause you don't have the choreography to the
you
song.
have nothing. So
Yeah.
you're as an individual that you want to go and enjoy music, especially to 100% soca. You go and learn the music. And number 3, the artists go and promote themselves.
Because you would say to yourself, all right, you can go 100% 6 weeks out, right? And then you have a year later, this year, where before May, songs start to come out. So you are either say, well, we're going to watch all these songs coming and see if you got enough music that we could get 100% earlier, or if you're going to stick to the original. So this year happened to be one of those years where music just come out. Everybody is like, nah, we ain't getting catch it. We pants down this year. We can live. I think what's happening is almost be cyclic, almost at the common entrance. When the results bad one year, then we set the easy exam next year, and then go results good like this year, and then we set a hard exam. What's happening now, the minutes come out, we want the music, and if they will say, all right, this ain't working, or whatever, they're going to hold it back. Hold it back. But when you hold it back, you get the advantage, you know, when February come, you ready.
Right.
You artwork done, you
yeah.
song done, mix and master.
So I got it. You said so because I heard somebody from another station can tell me that, oh, you ain't got enough music yet. Oh,
That's a lie.
100%. So it was
That's not
are
true.
you crazy? Anyway,
Yeah.
Ashanti, as a man that used to be work at the NCF, tell me, why do you think there's still so much red tape surrounding events in Barbados? And was it a situation where you think like how can officials then, or how would you advise officials to get that there sorted so to make things easier for people who are planning events? Because at the end of the day, NCF can't do it all. NCF need to promote
Exactly.
and everything, right? Everybody in this together.
I think that the festival continues to grow and it continues to change. A lot of what I'm seeing is progress, but it comes at a price. A lot of the red tape has to do with the involvement of more entities within the festival. Established businesses now having a greater stake within the festival, whether it's in the media, whether it's in manufacturing of products, whatever. And a lot of the red tape are things that are required in other festivals as well, in other jurisdictions, so it isn't anything new. So if you want to be able to have like a one-stop situation,
Which I heard they mentioned that a couple of times.
4 years now?
Before COVID.
Yeah.
perhaps the NCF may be an entity that can put that kind of thing in place. Because as a government institution, with a remit for the festival, it is,
And for culture.
and for culture, it is incumbent upon them to ensure that things run smoothly.
Right.
There's a lot more involvement, so it means that there are going to be far more demands from just about every entity. And as the organization grows, it will become more complicated to manage
Right.
and to execute. And therefore, the organization perhaps has to be dedicatedly committed to an event and planning it almost all year round. And I think that is part of the challenge.
You said the organization, or you mean event promoters, or you mean which
Well,
organization?
but listen, if you want to say event promoters, right, we're talking about music. Why is it necessary, or why does it happen that we have to talk about the music being late, or whatever the case may be, when we got 3 or 4 festivals happening before crop over?
Correct. Yeah.
Why couldn't that music even come out in conjunction with some of the other festivals that are going to lead you into crop over? But that's just an aside.
I didn't know I asked Patrick. He's the one that sings.
Yeah,
You tell me.
simply put, a lot of times is a vibe thing, energy thing. It can't force creativity, so people is just not. And then it's a timing thing. Another thing too, because the fact that some people like to hold on to tradition so much, And that's why I'm glad that there are no longer any party competitions. A lot of people would have been holding back their music.
That's fighting word for some people, boy.
Yeah, a lot of people, because it's a two-edged sword.
Two-edged sword.
Because it's where a lot of people make a lot of money. Sometimes people tell you that if not for the competition, they could not sustain themselves throughout the rest of the year. But I think that it also stifled the creativity of our artists, our soca artists, for a long time. And one of the things it did too was it made this thing that you can bring your song 8-12 weeks before the festival because your song is dead. By the time you want your song, essentially like an athlete, and you want to peak at Olympics, you want your song to peak for the judging. Or you want your song to peak for Kadooment Day. So that's why I think a lot of times that people just hold about the music. And then another thing, culturally, I can say soca is growing in Barbados in popularity. Dane, as a man, has been able to tell you that he can remember the time you didn't see here soca at no event outside of crop over time. You see, when once August day, is all dub, you might get some rap. No soca they used to play unless you go to a Calypso Spectacular or a party for like, you know, one of the parties when you game with the train that or whatever.
Yeah.
Now you're hearing soca play.
It more integrated into
a big change.
About your point, like, I mean, the NCF for a long time was talking about just, cause when you put on an event, you go to pay a bar, you go to pay a cost cap. I don't know why you need it, but
two different organizations. One is private.
Now you don't know where he's gonna pay a cost cap. That's what a lot of promoters is at.
If you bring an artist, you go pay 25% before the tax, and all these different things. So you as a promoter, the amount of taxes that you have to pay is ridiculous. So if the promoters could go one place, apply for everything at that one place, and pay 1% or 15%, I think, but whatever the case may be,
it may make things easier.
And make things easier, because then can say, well, we got these events, this is the permits that we want, this. I mean, sort should not have to be going every week to go and get to the police, whatever.
Wait, you go every week, every single week, or?
Truthfully, because of how things have developed, so they got portals, so cost cap, for instance, I think they get to apply for the first 6.
But then you gotta go back before the festival then.
You gotta go back before the festival then.
Which is crazy to me.
Sorry. The license take a couple of 3-way calls and things to get started out because it's going through the portal and then let me see it on them. And so even though the time you don't gotta come down there no more, right? Still pretty much gotta come down there.
So back to the point where Patrick would have mentioned that he's glad that to a point where some competitions have gone out the window. I go either way on that.
I think competition is good for social commentary.
Yes, for sure. But that's Shayla thing, social commentary. Yeah. But I used to be out there marking with my pen and paper, marking up bars, that thing at Soca Royale and thing.
I totally loved Party Monarch. You know, I had my East Coast days, but
I think I agree with you because I feel that people then started to stop creativity and more like formula, so that they know that they got to win my formula or what's not. Yeah. So Ashanti, what about you? Have you seen? When your years at NCF, you saw in terms of competition thing, how do you feel now that competition is gone? Do you agree with Patrick? Do you believe it should come back? No, we having the idea that all bands now don't have to compete, for the big titles or what's not. It could just be a party band on the road and what's not.
Madness.
They think it's madness. What do you feel?
I got so many feelings and
tell me.
I like to let my brother on my left know though that COSCAP is an organization that represents the musicians that produce the music, and it's a union that seeks to get back royalties, which they then share with the producers. There are several people involved in the production of any one piece of music. And COSCAP is the organization. And in the past, before we had COSCAP, we used to send thousands of dollars out of Barbados to artists overseas that I would tell that a lot we didn't know nothing about anything like that. Now
the problem though, Ashanti, is that if you talk to a lot of the artists, let me know when they get their check, once or twice a year. Don't even be enough to play.
They need to attend the meetings. They need to attend the meetings. If they're members, they need to attend the meetings.
That my thing, you know. My thing is how you came up with a figure that you can charge an event 8% of whatever money it is. So that's my thing. How you tell me how you come up with this figure? Because if I got 500 people or I got 5,000, like.
And the metrics behind the science behind it as well. I think, it should come to the meetings, but a lot of people want to know the science behind it. Even artists want to know, all right, how I put a rhythm, the rhythm playing, and when I got more players, like astronomically more players for these two songs are not this other song. If you only have on 3 songs, you know that, and you are traversing. You hearing the rhythm playing and the band playing all 3. All right, let me look at even Faith and Tiana or whatever. All right, better yet Thunderbolt, because I rate more than myself. And then 3 songs was out front there. But you hear them say that, they get enough players for it. But the boy, more than I saw
all
songs.
3 playing together.
Yeah, all 3 playing together all the time. And then people say, them is still on listen to your radio and rate it down. Every time, you can't. You got 6 radio stations.
Are you gonna be on 24 hours too?
Are you gonna listen to 24 hours? And then even in terms of the parties, etc., how do you know which artists' songs played at the parties? To say that they were used. So that's where
those are the challenges that COSCAT would have in collecting data on music played at the radio stations, music played in the banks, music played in the factory.
Elevators,
It isn't easy. But you will know more when you have a conversation with them and you attend the meetings.
Yeah. All right, I can attend the meeting. He's a COSCAT member too. I can remember $4.50.
So you know when you charge that, right? I tell you, so this check ain't worth you pay for it.
When I was a radio announcer many years ago, we had to write down on a sheet every time we played a local song.
Right.
Does that still happen?
Computers is log it, right?
Computers is log it.
Yeah, okay, they log it. They log it.
Sometimes
Every
so often they may come and ask us for the history.
Well, that was in the early times, I must say,
but
because soon afterwards, the computer was logging it. So I do have those days
I
too.
can't remember
in the
ever
beginning,
having to
we had to write them down. We had to write them down.
Computer. They were sending the history from the Serato, which is the computer that's used during the day, but I don't use the. Yeah.
So Ashanti, tell me something. What do you believe that? What more can the NCF do to help the songwriters, the artists, the promoters? How can we work together to not only evolve the festival but still keep it grounded?
I introduced this subject, and I wasn't sure that I wanted to do that because people may misunderstand me. They better start talking already about white people and this kind of thing. And so when I talk about the roots of the festival, I talk about the roots of the festival that I know because I was part of it. I was born 69 years ago.
Whoa.
Not
like that. Not like that. Damn. Not like that. I was like, whoa. I did not think that you were that old. Yeah.
So my family had a cane gong, and they went in the cane gong and cut cane. You understand?
I cut cane too.
She's a George girl.
And I understand, therefore, how things happen. And part of our problem as a people, that history that we have been part of and that we have drawn to ourselves and we have been pushed in, it has done a sort of an injustice to us, such that we do not love ourselves and we do not believe in ourselves as we should.
I agree.
And it therefore plays out in just about everything that we do. It plays out in the crop over at many levels. And let me add just one thing to clarify something else, right? Within crop over, there has been, I want to suggest, an idea that it's about the music. in some quarters. In other quarters, that is about the mass on the road. And that if they in the music, that crop over dead, or they ain't going away, and that kind of stuff. And we have been at the level of the organization. I don't even know if I could speak on behalf of the organization, but I can throw some of my ideas. That we have tried as much as possible to embrace as many aspects of the lives of Barbadians, to infuse it into the festival, and to provide an opportunity not only for everybody to benefit from the festival, but I want to say everybody from the poor man. We talk about, we here talking about the festival and who's benefiting from it and who has challenges with it. So they can got the fetes that only certain people can go to, because the fete costs $600 or $1,200, or the fetes that cost $20, that you can take $20 and go to a fete too.
Mm-hmm.
They got many different levels, and part of the responsibility, I guess, in how the festival involved. Everybody want to be part of it.
Yeah.
The boy that's selling snow cone
Yeah.
want to be part of it. The craftsman, the painter. But it is operating at a different level now, where big business is involved. And the evolution is happening in such a way that it is difficult for the foundation, I think, to be able to deal with the festival in such a way that everybody benefits, because that ain't gonna be a reality.
Yeah,
There can be some at the top who gonna be getting all, and somebody at the bottom who gonna be getting a little. And that, I think, has been the way our society has been structured, and it is manifesting itself in that kind of way. The festival evolving, but evolving in the direction where if you got money to invest in it, you can make back some money. If you don't have money and you want to come out and sell, well, you got to struggle.
But I mean, that years ago they had an avenue for all these things, which is Bridgestone Market.
Yeah.
And I remember when I used to look at Bridgestone Market, on the Friday, obviously you got 4 days coming down, and then the Saturday morning, people down there, they had the village, the cultural village, where people would sell the craft, different things like that. And Bridgestone Market used to be a burst on a Saturday morning, Saturday over there, Sunday, and then Monday. But now Bridgestone Market has fallen off significantly.
Actually, we only see it on the calendar for 1 day. I hope that's a mistake. I'm
So
sure.
my thing is, whereas all these people have opportunities on those 2 to 3 days, is like that over the last couple of years have dwindled significantly, because Bridgestone Market ain't what Bridgestone Market used to be.
I coordinated Bridgestone Market for them 20 years. I coordinated Bridgestone Market for them 20 years as well. And I'm a craftsman also, mind you. And it was a challenge logistically to be able to go on an area that is basically a road and create a situation where rain and sun and all them kind of things don't really bother you. And at the same time, to be able to live within that space and interact, like if you're a human being, have toilet and have food and all. You ain't gotta run home and go on, because it's a 3-day thing. And that had its challenges, because the last days basically was, as people would call it, a jump up there.
Yeah.
So you aren't selling nothing from jump up there. You just there being a backdrop. And the other thing are, there are a number of other factors too, that the changing dynamics within the region in terms of visitors moving backward and forward. There's more traveling backward and forward in the region. The parity of the Barbados dollar to the United States dollar compared to the Eastern Caribbean, compared to Jamaica and all them kind of things, people traveling, and life in Barbados is very expensive. Things expensive.
Very right.
So,
For sure.
you know, there are a lot of dynamics. So, it's
You really feel that the only things that you gotta ask is what you doing at Bridgestone Market to make Bridgestone Market any different to any other event on the calendar?
It's true because in the last couple of years, not to cut you, in the last couple of years, I would have visited Bridgestone Market. I always seeing toys you see
You
at
see
this
toys
place
at
and
Oysters
and
Fish
all that,
Festival, the same toys you see at Horton Festival.
I made a point to go to Bridgestone Market last year because I say I just had the itch to play my part to purchase
Thank
something that
you.
was local,
Yeah.
right? And I did end up buying African attire, right? And it was yes, it was expensive, but it meant a lot to me to be able to do that, right? So as expensive as it is, and we say with our whole chest that we want to be able to support things that are cultural, sometimes that means
you know, spend a little bit more.
sometimes if you can do it for the parties,
Not only
you
spend
know.
what, but you see, you do it almost out of a sense of guilt. Not
No,
even.
I don't know if I would call it. I had an itch to
You had
do
an
it.
itch, yeah,
I
you
wouldn't
had an
call
itch.
it guilt.
The fact you need
I
to
had
do
an
it, do
itch
your
to do it.
service.
Or maybe
Because
is
I
the fact
said-
that you say you aren't giving it to effect this year, you can get to the crowd.
I said it was more like, how should I put it? I want to go to events.
Yeah.
I want to look good. So let me see if I could
Pick up
kind
something.
of like kill two birds with one stone. I said I want to be able to look like I representing as an Afro Barbadian when I go to these events.
Thank you.
Right? Let me put my money there. Right? I could spend it online at one. I don't want to call names at one.
At Shein.
Yeah, or any on Timor or one.
Any-
But I say no.
We tried.
If I want, I want to attend these events at least once. I'm not gonna be able to afford to wear something like
Statement
that
piece.
traditional every single time. They are expensive, but at least once I want to have the experience of attending and looking like an Afro Barbadian and feeling proud.
Thank you.
Right. So I
Thank
went to
you,
British
Karen.
Market for that purpose last year. I think I bought two as well. But yeah, but that's another story. But yeah, that's what I did.
Different Oysters
Yeah.
Fish Festival,
Festival.
Yeah.
Horton Festival, Gold
Yeah.
Cup,
And
Agua Fest.
Yeah.
I was just
all
gonna
them
say
the
Agua Fest,
same
but they
thing.
want
We
it.
tried, we tried to make a difference over the years. I mean, we tried all.
And I ain't knocking Bridgestone. I'm knocking everything in Barbados here.
Yeah.
We had to set up something called 100% Bajan and have only items produced in Barbados in that section.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because all the toys and all that, there was always a proliferation of that. But we didn't want to tell those people that they can't be part of the
Correct.
festival
Yeah.
because it's designed for everybody to benefit from. So from Common Mayor all the way down, whoever wanted to come and set up along the road or wherever, that was their thing. But we wanted to make sure at some point in time that the people who were working and producing craft and that kind of stuff, that they had an opportunity. So we had an area, we even built kiosks for them
Right.
to operate, and I don't think they paid much for it.
Right. Right.
No, they mentioned calling mirror. It made me get bad feels, boy, because
Yeah.
I know that we evolving and thing, right? But you jump in on the road.
Oh, I
You don't
thought.
call a mirror, and you're going to go back hall, and all them people there, little granny there selling she little waters and thing.
Yeah.
That to me is my biggest problem now with our change and crop over.
What do you mean?
To me, I feel like we taking it away from the people.
She mean the road.
The rope.
The road.
Right?
Oh,
I
that's-
want to go on it too long. But
We
to
up
me,
on it though.
yeah, that's my
Not for the
biggest
road,
thing.
but we
Not
up
for
on
the
it.
Because we like, I mean, you know how much.
So you love the
people-
old, the traditional
the
road.
traditional
Oh,
road.
yes.
I have never jumped a Kaduma in my
She in a
entire
bit.
life.
That's
You
all
haven't
right,
jumped, but you ever
But you know what? You know
Yeah.
what?
You ever went-
I actually envy people like you
More
because
so
when
when
it's
I was
weekend, I
younger.
choose the morning. So good. I can go work. I go work.
Go work.
No, but I have more memories of the early times when I went through Bite Hall. You could
That's
Yeah,
what
that's
I-
what-
that's what we mean. That's what we
Wait,
mean.
the road last year, I don't have an issue with the road last year because, like, we jumped from Queen's Park.
Right.
So coming up from Queen's Park, straight on the road, down Pelican Village, everything was cool. But
But wait, people was?
it ain't got the scenery and the people for people to interact with when you
And
jump
we
because you
just,
go
and
to
we
the
start,
bar,
and we see a couple
you see a
people.
bar,
Yeah,
somebody
Bristol.
show you, you're going to do different things.
You want to
like
use
that,
the
right?
bathroom, somebody you never see in
And
your life,
also,
like in the door.
I mean, and when the bars, the problem, people, I think a lot of band leaders was talking about the problem is can't shoot the cut rock and can't on bike hall, whatever. But that was never the problem. All the bands or most of the bands had problems in Black Rock last year. When the bands get to Black Rock, all the bands get stormed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and,
So-
and it's gonna happen
Yeah,
as
happen.
well.
So really and truly coming down from Warrens, coming down the road.
Because I would say that even though that I love the traditional route, I didn't mind the addition of Warrens.
No, the
I
Warrens,
love the Warrens,
Warrens
the
was good.
stadium.
Right, right.
And I-
That's road
I
for
made
the
a
thing.
suggestion to them like which one that is do got different routes. They say that we ain't got enough manpower or police. But if the same amount of police on the same routes that people going, and you got bands that want left from the stadium, bands want left from town, whatever, everybody can end at the same place on Spring Garden.
Mighty
You
Green.
still got the same manpower. And people can decide, or I want to jump from this point, I want to jump from this point. You only got 26 bands, and you split it according. But
Oh, 14.
like, you don't the traditional route. You don't have you have the interaction with people and talking and different things. Again, stand up in a bar, show this body that. Coming down Pelican Village, coming around there, it was like, all right.
Where were the
so-
people? You
It
always
may-
see people
it
in the
may
hall.
experience. Like, I'm not as much as I'm a crop over person. I am not a huge Kadooment person. So that would tell you it's all right. Right? I've
You just work.
it's a job, it's a day for work for me. There have been years that I've actually freed up and jumped and enjoyed the last day of the festival, but I've always been a person that's been cognizant of the dangers of Kadooment Day. We know the climate that we are living in right now. Because we talk about songwriter, promoter, all that. I call the campus boy, so I know about the logistics of a band now on the road. I see that cut rock. You used to literally have to tell your people, no drinks can't serve here.
Yeah.
Lock in all the drink struts because the fellas are going to more likely
Start the band.
not start the band, but
You mean Brighton? You talk Brighton?
not talking about the
No,
cut
I
rock
thought
right
Brighton.
after American.
Right after
American.
Again on Station Hill there. We used to lock all the drink struts, every drink strut, not a boy can get a drink. You understand? And then when you turn by Eastman Corner, obviously still got logistical issues there with the band. But then you have to be super careful security wise all the way along down there because the fellas on them areas know the back road. So they know anything that I didn't know no way somebody would left home in a chain to jump, but that's another story, right? But anytime somebody snatch a boy chain and run and go on through all them things, somebody grab a woman or pull out, like, it is what is the people? We living in a Barbados right now. Well, you could get in somebody's bathroom and say, well, I never see you before. You want to use the bathroom? And they say, yeah. That was 2015. In 2025, you might never come back out of the house. So, like, you gotta remember where we is right now. And I honestly
agree with
felt like the 20, I feel like we could have tried out and get vaccinated. That's how you jump.
Yeah, I can picture you.
One more time again because I felt like logistically speaking, it makes more sense for the protection of the revelers
Yes,
as well.
it does.
But I also I'm a big proponent of vibe, and I know a vibe is
You're
added
right.
to something, and I could see even from TV is that the vibe between the Warrens and Clyde Walker roundabout,
Yeah,
Huddersfield
it was
Turner
dead.
roundabouts, was not what it should be, especially for the start of a jump. But I feel like given that a couple more years and people start to work out where they want to be
Be on the
at,
position on the road
the
or what's
position
not.
on the road, and even like that, the vendors can't really, but the geriatric, but obviously they say because the geriatric hospital,
The hospital, they know what thing
they
about
can't
it.
do it. that
I mean,
road anymore.
I enjoyed that jump.
Because
I
anything
mean,
that happens,
and
the
it was
police
real
can
long.
come down, the police can come down the other side of the highway and get to it. If there's somebody has a medical emergency, the ambulance could come and get to it. Fire service could get to anything.
Right. I understand the logistics of that for sure. I ain't a fan of it, but I think, as you said, maybe I could have given it a couple more years to see. But we can wrap it soon. But I want to get thoughts on you guys from about this. We have St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and Grenada right behind me. Do y'all feel any way threatened that by the how powerful those festivals are becoming. Like how popular now. People flocking to them. You got people that saying that they're missing or them ain't doing the last week of crop over because they got to get a Grenada.
You
or
go to
what's not.
Trinidad.
You was good at Trinidad.
Carnivals have became a lot more expensive to travel, to get effects, to like instant when they go to Trinidad, I can't get when they go to Trinidad's cost me at least $6,000 to $7,000.
Woohoo! Whoa.
Financial advisor.
Uh-huh.
So you know the plan for that.
you got a plan for it. You plan for it.
They got a plan for it. So if we do Trinidad, I do Vinci, and I do St. Lucia right after Vinci,
Right.
Grenada right after we.
Yeah.
And then in between there you got
I think it's Dominic or Antigua.
no
somebody.
Dominic is the same thing as Trinidad.
Oh, it's Antigua then.
It's Antigua.
Or yeah, one of them. That
So
is
like
enough.
when you go to these festivals, is you gonna make up your mind, or I can go Barbados, I can go Grenada. If you go, you might just make a go to all. But most people will go to Trinidad. Some people but the festivals, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Grenada, all these festivals are getting bigger and bigger every year.
Right.
Right? And Barbados is getting more and more expensive every year.
Correct.
So, I mean,
How do we balance it?
the Americans like down here, because when the Americans come down here and then pay $150 to get it all inclusive
Right.
and they drink,
Yeah.
that's why them is get on the way they get on. Or if they come in effect and go a bottle for $100 because they paying $250 or $300 for that same bottle, then them good. You know, but
Have to pay saying for EC.
Are they? Are they?
but like I mean for me is we in Barbados got a job to do,
We do.
and like one of my biggest pet peeves is like outside the weekly events that you got every day now, which is good.
Monday to Sunday. Fantastic.
Which is good because you, and to be honest, outside of 1 or 2 soca events, that's all the soca music you can get to hear 100%.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because all of the rest of events that is on a Sunday do not play 100% so.
That's why I'm going. I'm going to know you
I
bet
remember
drink
our
crop over. That ain't got
conversation.
100% soca. But anyway.
Right, probably, this main podcast and start get hot. But no, there's, as a DJ too, right? I understand that there's a difference between crop over parties and summer parties. All right, cool, whatever. I ain't get you first. But I always get real passionate about this topic, right? I feel like as much as they say that tradition and we growing and everything is evolved, that's one of the things, the tenets that I hold sacred to crop over is that the music has to be the music of the festival.
Thank
And
you.
any promoter that is piggybacking off of the brand of crop over has a duty to represent the festival of crop over at their event. Don't piggyback off a crop over and say you holding an event, but then when you get there, this is a summer party.
Foolishness.
No. If it's a summer party, brand it as a summer party from
correct.
the beginning.
And not a crop over event.
I let all of your paying audience know exactly what
And
they are.
it will
coming
not be
to.
on the crop over calendar.
It should be on the
Shouldn't
crop over calendar.
Nothing.
And I will go as far, forgive me, because I can probably get dropped from St. Carlos now. I will go as far as saying it shouldn't be in the last week of
Thank
crop
you.
over either. That last week of crop
It's
over
like-
field should be reserved
so-
for the crop over music.
So like when,
and soca music, which is what the
when they go to
festival is
these
about.
events, guys got to observe and things like that, and along with supporting too. But
Yeah.
like when you go and you hear Shabba Ranks, you hear rap, you hear all this
Whitney
music,
Houston. That made me
And-
left
I
a
remember that
party.
year. I remember that year.
and all these different things, Afrobeat music, like they find it as disrespect to the songwriters, to the producers, people that spend the money to go and produce these events, and it's like, it's horrible to me, and it's like, we crowd is not 100% soca. The people don't want
Right.
like it's madness.
I
That's
don't
not-
mind that you crowd cater to your crowd.
But I feel like I hold it the second week in August
And,
though.
and
Or
going back, this
And then
Early
that's-
June.
And what about that? What about that as a thing to stretch the economies?
right to stretch it.
Okay.
Stretch
To
summer in
stretch it.
Barbados. Because
Right.
after the first week of
August is done.
everything done.
Right, so
Okay.
hold it
Cool.
second week.
Yeah.
Mhm.
so
They don't want to do that because they're capitalizing.
Correct.
tell you,
On
right,
the
Crop over.
festival. Yeah.
what are the conversations that NCF is having with these people?
Correct.
Because
I would say the only reason is if they're piggybacking off of our festival.
Festival.
NCF can't stop nobody from holding a dub in our cruise or whatever.
Nah.
But don't nearly associated with crop over.
Correct.
Because all you're doing there is trying to get some ticket sales because you know they got people that coming in, you got a captive audience, and then again disappointed.
if they
Right.
get disappointed,
Correct.
I want to make a point regarding the other festivals. The analogy I would make is like Barbados' brand is strong. We know that,
Right, yeah.
but we can't become complacent.
We can't.
It's run a lot. Always been run, and people tell you run your race.
I start running out too.
Love that for you, and run your own race. So that essentially means like if you're going a race and you see somebody go out front hard or somebody, don't mind then do what you know.
you gotta keep your pace.
Keep your pace or whatever. Just somebody go there and burn out or whatever. But that does not mean to ignore your competition.
Correct.
If you want to win the race, and that's what it is. It is a race that we want to win it. You can't just see somebody else running or training different, eating different, and getting better and getting closer to you and say, now I know they're really always better than them.
Correct.
No, we gotta keep our eye on those other festivals, see what they are doing correctly,
and better
because we are all fighting for the same market. All the
Correct.
festivals, Lucia's gonna be at St. Lucia, Vincey's gonna be at Vincey, most of the Belgians gonna be at some of the Belgians going to other people's festivals now because it's the same, right? But we all fighting for the diaspora.
Correct.
We're fighting for the North
for right now,
Americans and the
for right now, he's
Europeans,
number 6.
right? And for true,
Yeah,
in terms of
What are you
the
talking about?
in terms of the festivals.
tier.
Yeah, we are number 6.
Run them there for
Oh,
me.
you
Let
mean?
me tell you what the people
we
want.
can,
Water.
we can wrap it now, but tell me,
Yeah.
Run
run
them
it
for
for me.
So you got Trinidad is number 1, different things like that. We are ranked at number 6.
By whom?
Hmm?
By whom?
You gotta make
Call the others.
a quick Google chat, maybe.
I was having a conversation with Rudy Maloney, and he was telling me the statistics of where we fall at the carnivals right now,
Yeah.
and we are at number 6.
This because of authenticity or this is because
Look
of
at
what?
This boy has got Barbados at number 3. They got Vinci at number 2.
But you see, we were always
Trinidad
number
number
2 for a
1.
long time. So
Yeah,
that
so
that
we
real
really
it's
drop
so
at least
troubling to
one.
me. Even
So
if
we
we
dropping
drop,
on the
we
line.
drop it.
Notting Hill.
We dropping
London
on the
is
line.
4.
What I would say is that, like, all right, so the Notting Hill, the Miami Carnival, the Berlin, and all them there, they're them different.
They're different. I want to put them in the
They're
category.
Right, right.
You know what part there? Uber Soca.
Are you sure about?
Because I will
Soca?
show you why Uber Soca. Because Uber Soca has been shaping the sound
Right.
of Caribbean music. See how
Correct.
bouillon get big?
Yeah.
A lot of people will tell you
Is
bouillon music get big through the Uber
Uber
Soca.
Soca, yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of the artists
Yeah.
that like Adamo, etc., are coming to the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Yeah,
So
'cause-
non-traditional.
Ubusoka is one of the things, boy. I mean, I attained Ubusoka for 3 years.
What?
And let me tell you, right? You see the small, we call small island people.
Small island
Right.
people, yeah.
Them that's got the dominance on the board.
Exactly.
And
So
not only
that's-
that,
and
and
that's
as
how-
Salt said, and the music started then to shape
To
the
shape
festivals.
the festival.
That's why even
Right.
a lot of our crop over music got that bouillon sound this year
Right.
because
Yeah.
it's what's trending.
All right, so I can get some final thoughts from you guys.
Already?
About, yeah, already.
I
Already.
guess
Because
I'm
this is
about
me, we
to
gonna
work.
come back
I know
again.
warming up. I know warming
We
up.
gonna warm up. I really want to talk
It's
about
a
the
diesel
music.
engine, you know.
I want to talk about the music, right?
You want to talk about
They
music?
want so another episode we'll be talking about music and what's
Alright.
not. And way DJs and playing music playing radio. Yeah, that's get me vexed. That's my number 2. My first pet peeve, and the second one is having a festival during crop over last 2-3 weeks or whatever. I be hearing pop music. It's annoying me, and I'm going back. If I hear one song, I just be so mad because it's we time we
the
produce
question
music,
is,
people
why-
spend
why-
money. I don't like it.
Why is it that the promoters of those events are afraid to do 100% soca? Because I remember I had a conversation with one of the promoters that is holding event further in July.
Maybe they don't even like soca
And I
music.
said,
Exactly.
I said, you need to start playing 100% soca. And
Right.
the man said, it's too early in the season to play 100% soca. And this is in July, you know.
I show you why he's an idiot. Because if it is too early last year, July. Now you not Soca last year, July. They play 100% Soca in July, right?
Right.
And you got more Soca now.
Oh, exactly.
It can't be too early.
4 or 500 more songs.
It can't be too early to play.
It can't be too early.
Cause you got music. You still got big bass Soca. You still got Spanish play. You still got spontaneous. You still got boring. You still got ducking. You could go on and on and on. Like you got enough music out there. If the sound didn't come out this year, we can still have a festival.
Right. All right.
No,
Let me get the final thoughts on you guys at the festival. About we know evolution is important, but how we can keep it grounded. And as Salt said, we can't take the eyes off of the praise. We gotta keep bettering.
If I could jock in my mouth first before we get to these guys, I think it's also an individual thing. I think we're looking to other people to sometimes to keep the authenticity. But there's something that we could do, each of us.
But that's also what Ashanti said earlier, that he find that sometimes as Bajans we don't really love ourselves.
Yes.
We don't give ourselves validation.
Yeah, so that's something that we could look into.
Ashanti?
Guys, yeah.
Yeah. The music is important to drive the festival and to touch the soul of the people, to teach them, to inspire them. To help them think about themselves and the development of this country. The festival is important. It drives the festival. Without the music, the mass is also important because we draw inspiration from the visuals a lot in promoting the festival. I know that I'm hearing this for the first time about the position of Barbados within the ranking of festivals worldwide. I know that Barbados has a brand, and it depends, I suppose, on how Barbados is able to market the festival. But I think more important is when people get here, what kind of reception they receive. The festival is for everyone, not only black Barbadians, but white Barbadians, visitors, or whoever. I was very, very present when we transitioned the festival through providing an opportunity for community groups to come into the festival with just a t-shirt because costumes were becoming very expensive. Costumes that
I continue. We got to talk about that. We got a third podcast with that.
What's the name came into the festival? And they came with t-shirt.
Spice Band,
and that t-shirt thing just mushroom.
Today I had to put a limit to say it's going to do 2 years.
To the extent that they were, and we fought to deal with that in a kind of way that yes, we wanted the t-shirt bands because it provided an opportunity for any community to get 50 shirts and come into the festival. But Spice was able to grow that so massively that we had to say, hey, wait a minute. And I think that Spice used the opportunity of the SIDS conference, I don't remember the year it was, to have their own event.
Congolese.
And I was the person who organized that on their behalf. So I identify with the whole idea of us as a people moving forward and celebrating who we are. But we got some issues that we have to deal with, and that is that we've started at one point within the festival, but we are getting to recognize that there are other things that we are and that we need to embrace as we go forward. And we are only now beginning to touch on it.
Final thoughts, Dane?
Who's the question again?
Just wrap up. Final thoughts on the
For me, I think there's a room for a lot more improvement from radio stations, DJs, promoters, to really let me start feeling the festival, because when you walk around here, people talking, people's like, they ain't feeling the crop over vibe, this. You know, I even getting out to events and different things that's outside when the music play, people stand up, like, you know, and like, we need to bring back party music.
I agreed.
I know
this is a music podcast, but I agree.
I listen to a crop over mix for over 20 minutes, and for hour of that mix, I swear I'm blind to listening to R&B music.
Yeah, like.
No, I swear.
It's a lot of I know this is not the music podcast, but it's a lot of super radio friendly music that sounds really good on your radio, but does not induce party vibes.
It's not party vibe. So like, we need the Calypso and Soca music come back. Like when you listen to like Birds Boys and Bruce's Run that thing, when you left there, all you could do is go home and sleep.
Correct.
Because you party so hard. Right?
Yeah.
And that's an aspect that I need to bring back. And I'm not saying there are not room for the last couple of years, with music have gotten too sweet. There's too much sweetness in the music and not no party in the music.
And it's amazing to me like, because we see how it worked for Quan, the artist. When he do Slam, he went back to Timmy catch a fire days. And it showed us. I thought to myself, wow, this is going to show all the artists that people still want to walk up.
It's true.
It's ridiculous. So, I mean, NCF got a lot of work to do too in terms of helping a lot more people or streamlining things that can make it a lot easier for promoters to do events instead of going through all this right here. So that's one thing NCF got to look at. They spoke about it for years ago, but you know, NCF is moved out NPS, but it is what it is. But really and truly, just want everybody to come and enjoy the festival. And DJs play the music in the people events. Promoters, 100% soca. I'm begging you.
People learn the music so that when DJs play, they
can party. People learn the music,
You final thoughts, you?
Final thoughts. The topic today was on the evolution of crop over. And yes, obviously crop over is evolving. It has to evolve. Every other festival, as we touched on in this podcast, is evolving. We have to, and I think everybody has a part to play, right? There are going to be people like myself who just want to make the festival bigger. Right? I just want to make the festival. I want to make the festival fun. I'm a fun person. And got people like other promoters who are there to turn a dollar. Right? And I don't think we're ever going to get a real consensus on the direction and to me that is the mission then of the foundation, to chart the direction that a vision for where we want the festival to go. But we as Barbadians have a lot of work to do as a people. I don't want to get to things, just the parting thoughts, but we got to recognize that we are enough. We are good enough as a people. Our music is good enough. Our food is good enough. I was watching something on Barbados today. With an actress, her last name is Nels, a British actress, and she was talking to another guy who's Jamaican, but she was talking to her Bajan accent. They were talking about her making the character in the movie F1 Bajan. Right, and then there was another one on Instagram recently with a coach in North America as well who is Barbadian. And you could watch these things on mute until I said that's a Bajan.
That's a Bajan.
Just by the way, how they move, the way they position the body. You understand? And we got to be able to recognize that is enough. We ain't got to posture like nobody else. We got to recognize the beauty in ourselves. And when we start to recognize our beauty as people, our beauty in speaking, and embrace it, we always talk, we always dance and everything. Other people, the same way how we be looking to Jamaica and Trinidad and saying, we want to be like that. Other people can like, with these Bajans and Canaan, but being like we.
Correct.
I want to be like that. What I mean? What that one is mean? Like people gonna want to start to talk like us. People gonna want to dance because the same way, and we can start to influence more. We gotta stick to who we are.
Correct.
And that is my thing. As much as the festival evolves, as long as we remain true to who Barbadians are and have Barbados first, which is what my brother here was talking about, because a lot of people there, them got themselves first.
Correct.
I don't care if it don't benefit Barbados. If it benefit themselves, get Barbados first, and you can benefit.
Correct.
But when Barbados benefit,
correct,
all of you can benefit. That's I think I left it there to become back for
the
music podcast.
Final thought.
Thanks for listening to Just a Conversation. If this episode made you think, smile, or even pause for a second, don't forget to follow the show on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you are tuning in. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Just search GIS Barbados. Every follow, every share, or message brings more voices to the table. Until next time, keep the conversation going.